Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from tinahills.com, and in this video I will continue on with stories about the Devi. So my epigenetic connection with Kali began many generations ago, 6 to be exact. And mitochondrial DNA, carries information back and forth for 14 generations. So it is quite recent, my connection, 6 generations. And this is my ancestor called Ushangini Devi, who is the grandmother, great grandmother of my grandmother. And Ushangini Devi would wake up at 4 in the morning, and as I told you, she's the daughter of the Haldar family that are the first priests of Kalighat. They're the main priests of Kalighat even today. Okay, and very deep rooted family with a lot of occult knowledge. Okay, and my grandmother was probably the most spiritual in her family, but she was also a Kriya Yogi, like I told you. So this connection to the dark goddess and being her high priestess connects to many generations. And Ushangini Devi would wake up at about 4 a.m. and would, take a bath, take a dip in the Ganges, and then change into her Banarsi sari, something like this maybe. And then she would wear it in the way the Bengalis wear it. It's different. In India, we have 26 states, and every state has a different way of wearing the sari. So then she would wear the sari in the Bengali way, and then she would walk all the way from, and the Ganges is right there, and Kalighat is right there. And she would walk all the way to the temple, and she would open the temple. And would start all the rituals, which is again something that is unheard of because women do not really start rituals. So this is again something very different about Bengal, because Bengal understands this mother principle. Okay, so Ushangini Devi is basically open up, do her rituals, and go back. And stories that my grandmother told me of how close she was to the goddess, and her sadhana and her experiences with the goddess. And these things really moved me because I was always interested in the imagery of Kali and the fear that it sort of evoked in people, the fear because of her nakedness, because of her dark, unruly hair, her voluptuous body, all the strings of arms that she wears as a belt, the severed hand the scimitar in one and a severed hand in another, as Chinnamasta holds. Okay, now Kali, of course, has either 4 or 10 arms, which is again Mahakali, the form that tantrics pray to. So each god or goddess can be prayed to in the Vedic way or the tantric way, which is the left hand path of Vamachara. So Kalighat is essentially a tantric peeth. Okay, it is the path of Vamachara, right? And there are 54 Shakti peeths, as I told you. These are the peeths where the Devi's body parts fell, symbolic of them being carriers of primordial feminine energy. These 54 Shakti peeths all around India. And if you're into a goddess worship, you want to go around these 54 peeths. That's something I wanted to do. Have a show where I go to all these peeths and, shoot live interviews, live footage, and share with my audience at Patreon. Maybe later on, if I get a large enough following and if I can get enough patronage to go to the 54 peeths with my camera and my computers and my laptops and shoot. Not only the sadhaks but also the temples, speak to the people who are praying to the goddess now and see what's going on, and talk to the sadhaks. I want to do this. This is like a huge plan that I have. Anyway, so these in these peethas, 54 peethas, Shakti is evoked in a particular tantric way. Okay, in Kalighat I told you her little finger fell. Okay, in Kamakya the goddess's vagina fell. So that is symbolic of that primordial fecund, fertile power of the goddess Kamakhya. Okay, now, so I told you all about the tandav that Shiva did, and how Sati's body was cut by Vishnu's Sudarshan Chakra, which is again symbolic because Shiva was bringing in pralaya. Pralaya as in destruction. And you cannot bring in destruction till the Manvantara doesn't conclude. Okay, it is not up to Shiva to bring destruction. So immediately with this we realize that there are higher powers at play. Okay, there are larger powers at play even than Shiva and Shakti, or what is manifest in front of us. Okay, so now a few things about Kali. So if you work with Kali, to understand Kali's energy, you must understand that Kali is like a black hole. Okay, now you can be fearful of a black hole. I know I was always very fearful of a black hole and matter getting sucked into it, and even light can't escape, till I realized that the black hole does spew out matter, and it also creates new galaxies and nebulae and all of that. Okay, so that is why we have black holes at the center of every single galaxy. Even in Milky Way we have our own black hole in the middle of it, in Sagittarius, okay, which we know as the galactic center. So the black hole is the greatest force of creation, like Kali. So if you're a scientist and you don't know what is the quintessential essence of Kali, Kali is like a black hole. Yes, you can get sucked in, but you can recreate, you can resurrect like the phoenix. Okay, now Kali is beyond time and space. You have to realize that this is a deity or an energy that is not confined or constricted by time or space or manvantaric cycles or yugas. Okay, this word Kali actually comes from Kala, which means time. Even Saturn is known as Kala, and Kala's brother is Yama, or death. Right, the dark one is the mother of time. Kali is the mother of time. Okay, she's also the consort of Saturn. Okay, so here she is, in fact, Saturn is Kronos, and Kronos is Lord of Time. So Kali is the consort of time himself, but she stands on top of time, so she's the mother of time. Okay, and she is the energy of the now. That is why she's Shakti, the present moment. Okay, and all possibilities arise from her. Okay, that's why she's like a black hole. And why is Kali dark? Okay, many people have asked me this, that why is she dark? Does she portray something demonic or evil? Firstly, this polarization between black and white as being good and black as being evil is incorrect. Black or dark is not evil. If you look up in the sky, what do you see? Darkness. Okay, light is in fact, it is sporadic, but darkness is infinite, it's everywhere, right? So if you look at Kali being dark, it signifies that she has no form, or she's the Nirguna form. And she's the Nirguna version, as in Nirguna means no form. So Kali has no form actually. She's formless. That's why she's the color of blackness, dark rain clouds. That Krishna is the color of dark rain clouds because he's formless. He's the Purusha. Okay, now when she's black, she symbolizes deep abstract space, Kali. Okay, and she's unclothed. She does not wear any clothes. Her breasts are open. She's unclothed. Facebook would censor her, right? But this signifies that her true essence, okay, her true essence cannot be veiled. You cannot put a veil on her. You cannot clothe it. It's infinite. Okay, what can you clothe if you have a form? If you don't have a form, how will you clothe it? There's no possibility of clothing it, right? So Kali is formless, so she cannot be clothed. Therefore, the nakedness, okay? And the darkness also connects her to earth and the womb of women. and how all of this are nurturing components, fecund components. Darkness of the womb gives birth. Darkness above creates galaxies and nebulae. Okay. Uh, the mystery in Kali is darkness. I mean, that is it. That is what philosophers and tantrics have been searching forever. And there is the lure of magic and transformation in this darkness. Okay. Now, oftentimes Kali is misunderstood. Very many people think Kali Yuga, the darkest era of all. Is that Kali and Kali the same? No. Okay, they're different. So Kali is very misunderstood in the modern era, and this takes me back to an ancient poem by Shama Prasad, who was a writer who wrote devotional poems to the goddess. And he says, Shama name kolonko uthibe. Okay, as in Kali will be misunderstood in the future by people who do not understand her symbolism, by people. She has power, and yes, even the dark evil person can misutilize her power, so her darkness will be misconstrued. Shama name kolonko uthibe. Okay. So this is sad, because tons of Indians are also scared of Kali, and they are fearful to worship her. I've heard this many times. Oh my God, no, we can't keep Kali's picture in our house. Why not? Right? Absolutely does not make sense. Understand her symbolism. You fear her because you don't understand her depth. Okay, and you think she's some kind of demonic entity. Even on YouTube, there are videos of Kali, how she's a demonic entity. It's hogwash, people. She's the abstract space. She's Nirguna Brahman, okay, or Paramatman, Parabrahm, okay. Now, Kali being the power of transmutation. That's why she brings destruction of your ego constructs. And that's why you're scared of her. That's why she's misunderstood. That's why Shamaname Kolonko Uthibe. That's why people will point fingers at Kali in the future. People who don't realize her alchemy. She's here to transmute you. She's here to cut off and sever that head of ignorance. Okay, head full of ignorance, head full of ego. Sever it. Okay. And she's the ultimate purifier and a bringer of life, and the beginning and ending of everything. Okay, she's a metaphysical principle that is the beginning and ending of everything that you can see and that you cannot see. There's a lot you cannot see. Kali is, of course, a very powerful Shakti. Okay, when you invoke Kali, you get power immediately. Okay, like I have also made this video on Kali mantra to get your love back. And believe me, it works for tons of people. But if you misutilize this power, it's going to come back to you. If you want to do baneful magic, if you want to hurt people with magic, it'll come back to you. Okay? Now, basically, Shakti and Shiva, or Kali and Shiva, are invoked in the crematorium. And why is that? It's because in the crematorium, when we see dead bodies burning, we are confronted with the possibility of death and the inevitability of death. It's inevitable, people. There is no, will it happen to me, or I'm going to get away because I have X amount of money in the bank, or, because I have this house and I have this car, I'm going to get away. No one's going to get away. It is the ultimate truth, right? So that's why Kali reminds you of that ultimate truth in the crematorium, in the charnel grounds. That's why people are fearful of realizing that everything is going to come to an end. Everything is ephemeral. Everything is transient, okay? Now, I remember when I went to Tarapet and I was at the crematorium, and I could see the dead bodies burning, and I could hear them burning. and some of them were in open funeral pyres, So watching that really transformed the way I view the human body, and the way I viewed the world. Really, really changes you when you the concept of the transience of life is cemented by the realization that ashes to ashes and dust to dust is the final reality. Okay, now basically Kali will destroy your ego. So if you're scared of ego constructs, and if you're scared of keeping your ego constructs, Kali is going to come and destroy it. So it's not always easy to bring forth such energy into your life, knowing that yes, this is going to bring me this kind of change, because the falling is like the tower moment in tarot, when your whole life and all the ego constructs that you set up come crumbling down, and then you're ultimately faced with the truth that nothing is permanent and you're not the boss of anything. The principle that has got you here, the divine principle that is operating through you, is actually in charge of everything. And your little monkey brain, or your little ego, that does not realize the whole game, because we see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum here, less than 1% of the acoustic spectrum. So what do we humans really know if you're not spiritually enlightened? Or I won't even say enlightened, I would say heightened, or sensitive to energies. That is what Kali will bring forth for you if you're sensitive to energies and you want to experience the world of spirit. Okay, so I hope you like that video. Please comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And consider taking a workshop with me on Kali, and we can work together and invoke her, and I can tell you the basics of a puja and sadhana. Book a reading, visit my website, and comment, of course. Please like, subscribe. Thank you.